again, I will go back to perspective. How do you see technology playing a role in your work environment, whether you're in sales or in a different position? Do you see it as something that could help you, or do you see it as something that is going to be more challenging to either learn or to implement?
You're now listening to Season 3 of Spark After Hours, where we sit down to chat with STEM professionals every Sunday. If you like this episode, consider following us on Spotify and Instagram at Spark Hacks. We hope you enjoy.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Spark After Hours Season 3. My name is Ananya Chopra and I am the Senior Marketing Executive for Spark. I'm currently a grade 12 student and I've been a part of Spark for 3 years, and I'll be one of your co-hosts for today.
Hey everyone, my name is Samaira and I will be your other co-host for today's episode. I'm a digital media executive and this is my first year at Spark. I too, along with my co-host, am a grade 12 student. Okay, so that's enough about us. Let's give a moment to our guest and current sponsor, Issa Paez, who has gladly taken the time out of her day to be here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Good day, wherever you find yourselves in the world. My name is Issa Paez. I am a Mindset Mastery Coach, and I am proud to sponsor this wonderful program and organization led by students. There's nothing more amazing than having a young group of students leading such a wonderful organization and such a wonderful cause.
Okay, so could you just go a little more into depth about your degree, just so people have more of a background information?
Sure. So I actually started my coaching practice last year. However, I have been in the corporate industry for almost 2 decades. I have a bachelor degree in adult education. I've always been drawn to facilitating learning for others, helping others learn, whether it's in the corporate world or in the community or even in my family. And last year, I felt the calling to focus more on leadership development and pursue a career in coaching. And that's why I decided to get my coaching certification and start helping as many people as I can through my coaching practices and also what I've learned from my own coaches as well.
Perfect, that's great. So we're just gonna start with our questions now. So the first question we had was, you mentioned that you were in the software industry before. So how has the transition been from being in the software industry to now the coaching world?
For sure. So I would say that I started my career in the software industry. I started by supporting the sales organization in Canada, and it's for, like I said, nearly 2 decades I was involved in that world, and the transition for me to from supporting a sales team in the technology sector to now coaching leaders in the technology sector as well, or in any other type of organization, was actually very seamless. One of the things that I found is that a lot of the issues that people have as it relates to personal development are universal, whether you are in technology, in pharmaceutical, nonprofit, it doesn't really matter. I think what I've come to notice through my coaching practice is that, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to well-being, when it comes to dealing with conflict, they're universal themes. So the transition has actually been quite seamless for me. And one of the benefits of me having been in the sales industry, especially in the technology sector, is that I could bring that knowledge into my coaching practice and then be able to coach leaders that are found in that space. However, that doesn't stop me from coaching anyone outside of the technology sector.
All right, thank you. Are there any skills or lessons from your time in the software industry that you find were particularly valuable in your coaching practices?
Absolutely. One of the things that I felt also why I was suited for this position or for this career as a coach is my listening skills. I was always someone that people would come to and just open up and share with me whatever was troubling them, whether it was career-wise, whether it was sometimes personal. I would be like a sounding board for them, and being able to really hone on the listening skills in my career at this technology company was something that has served me well in my coaching practice, and that is something that I also work with my clients to get better at. It's not just that superficial level of listening. It's really taking the time to let the other person, speak, let everything out, whatever is on their mind, give them the space to vent, let out all of their frustrations. And you'd be surprised when you give people the space, how appreciative they are of you just being there to listen without any judgment. So I think that's one of the things that I found I was able to hone through my coaching time, through my time at this organization, and that I bring into my coaching practice.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just drawing on more from your experience in the software industry, how have you seen technology evolve over the years, and what impact do you think it's had on the sales landscape specifically?
That is an interesting question, because technology, in my opinion, it gives us an opportunity to better ourselves as well. I don't see it as something that it's a threat to our careers, or it's if anything, I find that if we know how to leverage technology, we could use it to our advantage, so that it could do some of the things that we find maybe tedious or too administrative, so that we can then focus on the things that are more aligned with what we want to do. For example, technology, like I said, it's here, and it's going to be evolving. With the introduction of AI, there's just so many things that we can benefit from that technology. And what that allows us to do is create better relationships, or focus more on creating better relationships with other human beings. So really focusing on our relationship building skills, again, going back to our listening skills, going back to our communication. So technology plays a part in our everyday life, and it could help us to automate tasks, do the things that we don't, the administrative tasks that we don't necessarily enjoy doing, and then focus our time and attention on the things that fulfills us more. And as it relates to the world of sales and technology, sales is a contact sport. You need to be making contacts with your customers, with your prospects. And by you leveraging the technology to, as I said, handle those administrative tasks, you can now focus on reaching out to your customers, spending that quality time with them, and really having those conversations that I think is going to help you more to create those relationships and turn that potential prospect into a client.
All right. Do you think there's any specific challenges or opportunities that have arisen from sales professionals with the increasing use of technology in the industry?
From my experience, sorry, repeat the question again.
Are there any specific challenges or opportunities that have arisen from for sales professionals with the increasing integration of technology?
I think it again, I will go back to perspective. How do you see technology playing a role in your work environment, whether you're in sales or in a different position? Do you see it as something that could help you, or do you see it as something that is going to be more challenging to either learn or to implement? I go back to what I said previously. Technology can help us with a lot of the automation piece, and when it comes to sales, it's just all about creating that contact, that human connection with people, so that then you can turn those leads or those prospects into clients who are going to stay with you for a longer period of time. I think technology, like I said, I'm a big proponent, or I'm a big supporter of technology. And if I could leverage it in any way to make my life easier, I will. That's something that I would do. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, I could elaborate a little bit more.
No, I think that was perfect. That was good.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay. So I know you've had roles as being So you were a mindset mastery coach, right? So in that position, did you ever have to add elements of emotional intelligence or positive thinking to empower sales professionals?
Okay, so one thing that I'll clarify, so I actually became a mindset mastery coach after I left the corporate world. That's a transition that I did. Although when I was in the corporate world as a readiness effectiveness consultant and sales effectiveness consultant, one of the things that I did focus on with the leaders in particular is the coaching aspect, how they can help their how they could be better coaches for their teams. So I would, facilitate workshops and work one-on-one with some of their leaders. But going back to your question about emotional intelligence and positive intelligence, I recently did a workshop for an organization specifically about emotional intelligence and how, by us becoming more aware of how our emotions impact our decisions, we can have better relationships. We can control we could control conflicts in our relationships, whether at work or at home, a lot better. And the same thing, it's similar concept to positive intelligence as well. Being able to become aware of how your emotions are playing a role in your decision making, and how when you are in a certain state, let's say when you are in a negative state, how you are not able to think clearly. You're not able to come up with solutions that could be a win-win for both. So emotional intelligence plays a crucial role, especially nowadays, going back to technology, AI, and all of that. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in nowadays because of all the technology that is available to us. We still need to have that human connection. And in order for us to have that human connection, we need to know how our emotions are playing a role in those interactions. When you know that, like I said, when you are in a negative state, how productive of a conversation can you have with your team members? And same thing when you are in a positive state. You could clearly see the difference between your interaction with those team members in a meeting, or even in your personal life with your family members. I think it goes back to, whatever energetic level we're in, it's contagious. We can either be a positive charge for others when we are in a positive energetic state, or we can be a negative charge to others when we are in a negative energetic state.
That was really cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so going back to the technology aspect, I think you would agree with me that 21st century technology is quite advanced. How would you balance the need for innovation with technology in the leadership field, as well as sales and STEM environments?
So this is again where emotional intelligence and positive intelligence, in my opinion, comes into play. Because going back to our energetic state, when we are in a happier mood, think about it. When you are in a happier mood and you encounter a problem, how creative can you get to solve that problem? How creative can you become to come up with a variety of solutions? Because your state is saying, you know what, I could do this. I got this. I don't need to worry about this. Versus if you find yourself in a negative state, then how creative can you get? How innovative can you become to solve whatever problem you are faced with, either at work or at home? So that's why I go back to, it's mostly about the individual. We need to focus on ourselves first before we could actually tackle any workplace problems, before we could tackle any community problems. if we don't know what triggers us, if we don't know, how to manage our state, then it's going to be a lot more harder for us to tap into that creativity, to tap into that innovation. I think all of those individuals that have come up with brilliant ideas, they found themselves in a state of possibilities. And the only way that you can be in such a state, if you are, if you engage your sage, that's a term that we use in positive intelligence. If you engage the positive side of your brain to think about all the things that are possible, and that's where innovation comes into place. That's when creativity comes into place. But I think it also starts with the individual. You need to know yourself first. And that's what I focus mostly with my clients. Helping them understand what are their triggers, what are their saboteurs, what's holding them back from becoming, creative, innovative in their leadership. Because, innovation is not just, or creativity is not necessarily to the arts or the visual arts or performing arts. People can be creative in sales. If I think of sales, people can be creative as it relates to coming up with a creative proposal for a client, or getting creative with the pricing strategy, for example, or getting creative on how to solve a problem that a client has had and has not been able to change or to handle. So in order for you to tap into your creativity, you first need to work on yourself, find out what those triggers are, find out where you are as it relates to your emotional intelligence. And I think that's how I would, think about the balance between creativity, technology, and our everyday lives, to be honest.
That was perfect. And with that, we're done with our talking points. So now we're going to go into rapid fire, which is very easy. You'll have fun with this,
Okay.
we hope.
Okay.
It's a light-hearted questions, so you'll be okay. So the first one is, what was your least favorite subject in school and your favorite subject?
Least math, favorite arts.
I would say the exact same for both of them.
That's awesome.
So our next is, what is your favorite holiday?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Christmas. I really like to see all the lights and the decorations on the streets and in the house, and whether it's here in Canada or in a different country, that is something that I don't know, it brings a warm and fuzzy feeling to my heart. So Christmas.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Hot coffee or cold coffee?
Hot, no question about it.
Oh, really? Even in the summer?
Oh, yes. And a latte.
All right.
Okay, this one is, do you have a favorite quote from a movie or a book or anything you ever read that kind of stuck with you?
As a matter of fact, I do. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to read it from my phone. And the quote is, "The mind within itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven." And that is John Milton. And I got that quote from a book that I read a lot of these books, Napoleon Hill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's the author of Think and Grow Rich. It's a book that I highly recommend to everyone out there who hasn't read it. So that is my favorite quote, one of them.
And just going off of that one, do you like fiction books or nonfiction books? Or are you more of a Netflix person?
I'm more of a reader. I really like creating my own movies as I read what the author has written. I would say a bit of both. However, I'm gonna do a plug in here. I really love Ayn Rand's books, The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Those are my two favorite books. Again, highly recommend.
I will put those on my TBR. Okay, so next one is, do you prefer a beach vacation or a mountain retreat?
Beach, no question about it.
How many languages do you speak?
two at the moment, and I was trying to learn a third one, which was Croatian. That one is a little bit more challenging, so it's still in the works.
It's very cool. Okay, so not the last one. Okay, what is your favorite hobby? I think it's reading now that I've heard
Oh,
you
I have a
response.
few. Reading is definitely one of them, but I would say stand-up paddleboarding. It's one that I picked up a couple of years ago, and I even took it all the way to Croatia. When I went on vacation in Croatia, I brought my paddleboard with me, and I had a blast. So that is one of my favorite hobbies outdoors. And anytime it's just reading.
It's very cool.
And what is one word to describe your leadership style?
Oh, I haven't been asked this question before. Supportive.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
I'm gonna
Okay,
write
so
that one down as well.
Okay, we're just gonna do a few final questions now, and then you're all set. So our first one would be, do you have any advice for students who are entering post-secondary or just any school who are interested in leadership?
Absolutely. One of the things that I would highly recommend is, again, focus on yourself first. Had I known when I was at your age what I know now, I would have definitely invested more time on my self-development. And reading is a great way to learn a lot about what other great leaders have done in the world. And some of those things will resonate with you. Put those into practice whenever you get a chance. Volunteering through either an organization like this or participating in organizations like Toastmasters, for example, gives you an opportunity to put into practice your leadership skills so that you can start honing them and seeing, which skills you are good at and which ones you still need to work on a little bit more. And definitely don't wait for others to invest in you. You are the only one that cares about you and your development. So whatever it takes, whatever it costs, make sure you spend the time and the financial resources to always invest in yourself. And you are your best return on investment. So don't wait for anyone else to do that for you.
All right. I believe our meeting will end in 10 minutes, so we're just gonna
Okay.
quickly rush through it. If you could go back and give your younger self, a piece of advice based on everything you've learned, what would it be?
Be courageous. Don't think too much about what other people will say about you. Just go out and do your thing and you will have fun with it. Don't limit yourself. I've seen how I've limited myself throughout this year, and now I am living my best life, to be honest.
That's perfect. Okay. So as we're just gonna conclude it soon. So is there a story that you would like to share where you were in like a challenging situation in your career and how you navigated through it, drawing on your skills and expertise?
Sorry, absolutely. There was one, and I will go back to communication and emotional intelligence. I did encounter a situation with a manager where his leadership style did not resonated with mine. I wasn't used to that leadership styles, and I felt that I wasn't being as productive as I could be. That I felt like I was walking on eggshells, and luckily I had a coach at that time. I talked it over with my coach and got support from her, and I ended up having a conversation with this manager, letting him know how his behavior was affecting my performance, how it was making me feel in the team. And to my surprise, the manager was actually appreciative of the fact that I was courageous to let him know some of how his behavior was impacting not just myself but other team members. And he appreciated that, and he also changed his attitude towards me. Now he saw me as an equal versus a subordinate, and my relationship did change after that interaction. So again, I go back to be courageous, prepare yourself for situations, but don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from changing things in your environment with other individuals, or going after the things that you want.
And finally, before we end off, what projects or initiatives are you currently working on, and how do they reflect your passion and commitment to both the technology and coaching aspects of your career?
Absolutely. I am currently working on delivering workshops. As a matter of fact, can I say next week? Just well, next week I will be delivering a 3-day workshop, 1 hour each day, on positive intelligence, and my goal is once a month deliver this workshop. So if anyone is interested, I will share more details of the workshop. They're free of charge, of course, and it's 1 hour each day, usually in the afternoon. And my goal is to educate as many people as possible about how they are sabotaging themselves, and what are some of the things that they can do to overcome those limitations and stop sabotaging their performance.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking your time out to be with us today. So we're just gonna give out some Spark socials for the people watching this. So our website is startthespark.ca, and you can follow our Instagram at SparkHacks, and our LinkedIn is just Spark. So stay tuned for our next episode with another awesome guest. And again, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you both soon again. Take care.
Thank you. Do you have any social media you would like to give out to the audience so they can connect with you?
You know what? I don't know. I just started with social media, to be honest. Can I share the links, and then you could just share them on your website, on your Instagram? I'm a lagger when it comes to social media, so it's very thin, and I don't even know the name. But yeah, I'll share those with you, and then you could just share them.
All right. But thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
My pleasure. It was lovely speaking with both of you. Thank you for the questions.
Thank you.
No worries. Have a nice day.
Take care. You too. Bye now.